Hey guys, this is Camper 15, joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf, and we are back with another My Hero Academia anime episode review. Almost said, darn it! It's every time, man. It's every single time. When it comes to My Hero, I think manga, or I think, how about this? It's funny because when we do an anime video, I'm about to say manga chapter review. But when I do my manga chapter reviews, I say anime episode.
Oh my god. Well, to be fair, you do this to yourself. Ever since you started going ahead in the manga, so
Yeah. It always happens. It always happens.
now I'm just waiting for you to make that same mistake when Black Clover comes back.
Yeah. Anyways, what a very emotional, deep episode today, and
Yeah,
we finally have our first. Well, unless you're counting those Mocha and Johnny, the little two Nomus, you
I
can
don't count
officially, and I guess the big one giant high-end Nomu Mirako took out last week. We get the first legit death of the war arc here in Twice.
Yeah, I didn't honestly, of all people, I did not expect him to go out first.
Yeah. If you want my legit first time like reaction to this, I actually looked back in my playlist, and if you go to My Hero Academia, my manga chapter reviews are set up where it takes place after the events of season 4 and 5. And pretty much where I start is legitimately before the war arc actually starts in the manga. Which Okay, cool. So I believe the chapters they adapted was My Hero Academia chapter 266 and 67. And those cover those week's episodes. So we got adapted. We got 2 chapters adapted this week. If you want my legit first time reaction to the death of Twice, go check those videos out. Because that gives you more clarification how that affected me as a reader, because I didn't see it coming at the time either.
Jesus. Now, how do you feel about it now that it's animated?
It was definitely very emotional. Like the build up to that scene was very emotional. Just from the standpoint, you have Hawks just come in and he doesn't want to do it, but he knows deep down he might have to do it, because we know with Twice, when he goes Sad Man's Parade, it's over. Because he's OP as hell. We saw at the end of season 5 and what happened when he had all those clones made. But overall, before we get to the Hawks Twice stuff, the episode starts off again with the raid on the Gungan Mountain Villa area. So the heroes are doing their thing and everything. And it was absolutely hilarious how Redestro, he's looking like he's about to give some big announcement and everything. And all of a sudden, somebody's like, Redestro! And the dude's like, can you please shut up right now?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
He has that big dumb smiley face.
And then he's like, the heroes have invaded. They have closed off all the exits, the secret exits in the villa area, and pretty much they're trapped, and the heroes are attacking, and pretty much the anime does a good job where he gives that very happy look, and then all of a sudden he just breaks and he's like, what? And then he just transforms to the big hulking thing we saw when he went up against Shigaraki. So again, you see some interesting things. We actually get a pick up to what happens with Kaminari. Now it looks like the electric dude was gonna fire off some other attack, but very decisive character at the moment in the manga. Sorry, Edge Shot. He takes like I think almost 10 villains out in one shot. Like he punctured their lungs pretty much, and he's like, "You move any longer, you're dead."
Yeah, but if you want to die, go ahead and move and stuff.
Yeah. So they're taken out. Midnight is doing her thing. We see our boy Tamaki Amajiki. He uses his Bass Hybrid, takes out a bunch of villains as well. And Big Gum or Fat Gum is like, good job, I'm a Jiki, and I'm a Jiki.
Leave me alone. He's like, leave me alone.
Yes, this time he was like a centaur type of creature. So
What did he eat in order
That's
to
what
get him?
I'm saying. Unless he's like fusing the different types of foods he ate, which means he had to have eaten a horse to get the centaur body. To at least get the horse body.
Either a horse or a bison or something.
Something. I don't know. This man, hey, he eats something, he gets the ability. That's all I'm gonna say.
Pretty convenient, I guess.
Yes.
Anyways,
we cut over to Tokoyami, and Fat Gum's like, Tokoyami, do your thing. Just scout what's going on in the underground. So he releases Dark Shadow, and Dark Shadow breaks through the little cracks, and it confronts Redastro. So I guess you can say we had Tokoyami versus
Redastro, only for like a few seconds.
Because Redastro's prosthetic legs actually gave out, thus making him fall and everything. And pretty much when Dark Shadow comes back, he comes back in fear. And he tells Tokoyami, he's like, I saw something big down there, and I don't think you want to mess with that. And he's referring to Gigantomachia. Now Fat Gum's like, oh, don't worry about it. He will only respond when the leader of this whole operation is awake, which we know is Shigaraki, because Gigantomachia only takes orders from Shigaraki. So you have to wonder, if Shigaraki reawakens, what damage will Gigantomachia do?
Gigantomachia plus Shigaraki, and now he's more powerful than he was before.
Yep. But anyways, you get this cool. I guess you could say you could get this one lighthearted comedic moment with Tokoyami in Fat Gum's chest. Hilarious.
Yes, it's kind. Although I feel like the intensity of this whole battle kind of overshadows that.
Oh yeah, Fat Gum was talking and everything, and they're retreating pretty much, or he's taking Tokoyami, I guess, back to where the students are supposed to all be at. Oh, we also did see Mushroom Girl and Honuki. They actually put in some effort and work into the thing, but they're probably moving back to where the Class A and Class B members are. So they did their job. So cool. They didn't have to really honestly get their hands dirty. And I guess you could say the same would go for Kaminari. But yeah, Fat Gum is pretty much making the point of, Hawks, he's the one that leaked all this information of how their successful raid is going so far. And that's when Tokoyami's like, wait, Hawks is here? And he just has a flashback to when they first, started training with each other. And he's like, Hawks, my master, I want to show you how much stronger I've become. Because Hawks told him, hey, you gotta have like pretty much kind of a long ranged ability to help him, develop more as a hero. And he pretty much aspires to show Hawks that said ability. But right now, Hawks is in some trouble with we're getting into it now. So like I said, after that scene, that's when we have the whole crazy tone shift, and we get to the point, Hawks versus Twice, which it really wasn't much of a fight. It was more of a
one-sided annihilation.
Yes. Hell, you can say, because Dobby ends up showing his face later on. It's kind of 2v1, but really it's honestly Hawks versus Dobby. But I discussed it, or I talked about it, or I gave a little hint at last week's episode how Twice would feel in this situation, seeing somebody he thought he trusted betray him.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, he's been reminiscing about all the times he like put his team into a bad spot where he brings a guy in who he believes he can trust and ends up stabbing him in the back in the end.
Yeah, because he has a flashback to what Overhaul did when he brought Overhaul in at the start of season 4 to see if Overhaul wanted to join the League of Villains or have some sort of collaboration with the Shiha Saikai in the League of Villains. And pretty much Overhaul took out Mr. Compress's arm and killed Big Sis Mag. And Twice feels like he has all this judgment on him for bringing somebody in, pretty much giving them all the deets, and in return, it's damaging and hurting the people he cares most about. And you can feel like, oh, will they accept me if I get out of this situation? What if I tell them, like, hey, my mistake, my screw up cost us or got us all in danger? He's having this whole tumultuous moment of just self-recognition. He's just going crazy. And in this meantime, Hawks, he's kind of just telling him, like, dude, I don't want to do this. Don't make me fight you. Just turn yourself in. I can get you some help. And guess what? You can turn your life around and be better. Pretty much he's trying to tell him, hey, understand the actions you've done as a villain. Come into custody. I'll help you, be there for you. And I can help you turn your life around. So guess what? You can be pretty much a good guy. But the thing is, Twice isn't really wanting to hear any of that. And the one thing is, I do like these shots. Like, there was some of the shots that looked at Hawks, and he looked menacing. Like, he looked like a villain when it just, like, his entire face was blacked out, and you just see his eyes. And I'm like, he looks like a villain. And mind you, this is kind of like with the perspective of what Twice is seeing. So that's how he's seeing Hawks right now. He's seeing him like, wait, why'd he wrong me and everything? And the thing is, Hawks has him surrounded with all his feathers and everything. And Hawks knows, like, hey, I have to freaking finish him off. Because if he gets out of this door and he unleashes Sad Man's Parade, well, then we're going to get overwhelmed as the hero force, and it will be game over.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, Twice unleashes Sad Man's Parade, but Hawk starts just using his feathers to just destroy the clones and everything. And pretty much what we see Hawks do, he pretty much cuts up the real body of Twice and pretty much hits like joint-like areas to where he can't move really, but we see at the end of the episode he still somewhat moves. But he pins him down, and Hawks looks like he's about to kill him right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also kind of the start of the series going in a direction. Is it okay for a hero to kill a villain if it deems necessary? Now, in a perfect world, you would probably say yes. You would say, well, if the villain is out of control and he's just gonna put damage and hurt others, you would think the hero has to kill him. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, these are people too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's also the whole interesting dichotomy too between the heroes and the villains. With the standpoint, the villains, they think what they're doing is the right thing because guess what? They were wronged by society, or society didn't look out for them. And I think Twice makes a mention to this, and even when Dobby shows up later, Dobby makes a mention to this as well. But hey, go back to the Shigaraki flashback. No heroes, nobody wanted to help him. After he killed his family, albeit that wasn't the right thing to do, but he had an uncontrollable quirk at the time, his decay quirk. No heroes wanted to help him. They just saw his face and like, whoa, dude, go to the police. They didn't help him. They didn't reach out that hand. And what was the repercussion because of that? All for One found him, turned into a villain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that moral theme there that, as I'm telling my co-host here, that's what's going to be something interesting in the story going forward. Is it right to kill villains? And how will society, regular modern day society, look at a hero if, say, Hawks killed a villain? What would the public think? Hawks is a murderer? Wait, what? I
mean, he did who knows what with Best Genus, so.
That is true. But anyways, in the meantime, when it looks like Hawks is about to kill Twice right then and there, who shows up?
Dobby with his blue flames.
Yes. Now, Hawks takes actually a good brunt of the attack, and I think his jacket is burned, and hell, most of his feathers are actually burned too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in some trouble right now. Now, Dobby tells now the thing is he he shoots his fire. And the thing is, Hawks actually had to save Twice because Twice would have been caught in the crossfire. And Dobby's like, oh, that's the same thing as you heroes. You always have to save people on a wit's end. So the thing is, Hawks is trying to kill Twice because he knows if he gets out of here, game over. But in the meantime, Dobby's getting in the way of that. So it looks like there's a point where Dobby fires his flames, and it looks like it engulfs Hawks. And at the same time, Dobby's like, all right, get out of there, go do your job, Twice. But what then happens, which was actually pretty cool.
Hawks actually went around and appeared right in front of Twice, and
Yeah. Now, what was the interesting point before? It looked like he had a good shot at finishing off Twice there.
You take this one, man.
Okay. Dobby makes a mention and calls him by his real name.
Oh, yeah.
How Dobby knows that?
I'm guessing you know.
Honestly, I kind of forgot, to be honest. I honestly legitimately forgot, but because Dobby calls out Hawks' real name, Hawks he stalls for a bit. He's like, wait, what? How do you know my name? And this creates enough of a distraction for Twice to get out. And again, it looks like Hawks takes another brunt of the attack, but he ends up dodging out the way. Now, again, Twice is looking over the balcony and he's just like, this is my fault. This is my fault. I had to do something. And it looks like he's going to unleash Sadman's Parade, but you get a great shot where the flames are firing, but you see Hawks is behind those flames, and he looks like he's about to do what we see. All of a sudden, we cut to Toga and Mr. Compress. They're getting chased by this hero. And all of a sudden, we see Twice show up behind him, and we can see it's a clone because it's fully clothed Twice. And this clone just is like, so I don't know if that hero is dead, but from the fact
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
From the fact that Twice shanked him in, I guess, the back of the neck or probably the head, he's dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. Yeah.
Also, that hero did look very villainous with the way he looked. And the way his quirk was. It looked like a little freaking something. I don't know what you would say.
I was gonna say that's racist, but then you were like referring to his clothes, so never mind.
So in the meantime, you get a very emotional conversation with Twice and Toga. And it's kind of the thing how he's apologizing to Twice or Toga and Mr. Compress of like, I apologize for everything that happened. It was my fault. I let Hawks freaking know too much information and he snuck in. And now what happened is with the heroes is because of my fault. And it's that Twice, this decaying clone of Twice goes up to Toga. He's like, here's your handkerchief that you gave me, the handkerchief that she gave him in season 4 to wrap his head because he was freaking out and everything. And they kind of embrace, have a hug moment, and he kind of just tells them like how much he cared about them and how much, truly they meant to him. Because you go look at the Twice flashback. He had nothing. He was all on his lonesome, and who was the only people he deemed as friends, allies that took him in and accepted him for who he was? The League of Villains.
Yeah.
It was a very emotional, even, again, an emotional scene. You see the decaying part of Twice, this clone, and Toga's holding it, and you just see the sludge just pretty much disintegrate into nothingness. And then it pans over to the balcony, and you just see Twice's head right there. Well, you don't see the full head, but you see blood and just a bloodied head, which pretty much means Twice was killed by Hawks. Probably just cut off his head. And that's where the episode ends off. yeah, it was a very, very sad end to the legacy of Twice. A really good character. Twice is like definitely one of the best characters in My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Again, also furthering the point of why the League of Villains are some of the best developed villain characters of any anime series as well too. There was a slight change in the ending song.
Yeah, I saw.
In terms of the animation, when it looked like you had that moment of Toga and Twice embracing, then it cuts to another panel, and it's Toga looking just in utter despair.
I feel like they're gonna do that every time a character dies on each side. I feel like they're gonna do that. First, yes, of course, Twice dies. If someone dies on the hero's side, that they're gonna show off something similar to that.
Yeah, and we know Toga was one of Twice's best friends, so how is that gonna make her feel? And we already know Toga's pretty unstable as is.
Full on yandere.
Yep. So it's gonna hit her, and I'll say I won't give away spoilers, but the Twice death does affect Toga's character going forward, and how she views certain things about heroes and villains and stuff like that. So I'm throwing that little thing out there, but that won't happen till a little bit later. And that will get picked up, and then I'll let you know about that. But solid episode again. What more can I say about season 3? And it's absolutely hilarious now that everybody is praising season 6 now. Even the haters are praising season 6. The ones that were shit talking season 5. And I guess you could say to an extent season 4. Funny enough, huh? I told you, wait for the good shit to happen.
But no.
Before we ended off the video, it's like I said last week, people freaking set their expectations too high in season 5. Now, I'll be honest, season 5, wasn't the best season. It's probably my second least favorite season. Just mostly from the standpoint, it's just, a little bit different tone of shift there. Sorry for that.
Oh my god.
But I was saying, the thing is this. My thoughts on season 5, Class 1A versus Class 1B arc. With the way how season 4 ended with the Endeavor versus the High and Nomu Hood, it was a massive tone shift because it's like, oh, we were going from serious stuff to, okay, it's back to school stuff. Weird. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of that arc. That's probably my least favorite arc of the entire series, Class 1A versus Class 1B. It's just like, I can see why people say it's boring, because nothing really happens other than Shinzo returning and then Deku acquiring Black Whip for the first time with the realization that he has multiple quirks. But other than that, that's probably and that's the reason why season 5 is kind of weak. It's just not as good as the others. I still think it's decent, but not as good. And again, the whole thing with the movie issue, but this is why I said why the My Hero Academia wanted to make a movie before season 6 comes out. Guess how much good the animation looks now.
Yep.
Looks crazy good. And now everybody's praising it. And I'm like, I was the one of saying, like, listen, I knew Studio Bones was going to go all out for the war arc because it's the most important. Hell, I even still say, even with the current arc, which is the final arc in the story right now of the manga, the war arc is the most important arc of the entire series. Just from the way certain moments like this week's episode happens, which hits you, and then after the war arc is over, after this arc is done, the repercussions from said war arc and how it impacts the story going forward, how it impacts the characters. Most important arc. That's why they want to go all out, have one more movie and everything. We've already seen how different this season's been compared to the other 5 seasons. First episode, there's no big recap episode, recapping everything, having like, I guess, an episode 0. Get straight to the point. So, hey, I love it how everybody, I like how everybody's now liking My Hero Academia Season 6. I just hate the fact that people was like, oh, My Hero's back. I'm like, no, it's already been here. You people just gave up on it. But, yeah. But anyways, solid episode. So far, best episode of the season.
Yeah.
Say so?
Yeah, I would say so. Sorry, I was getting distracted. Anyways, go on.
Yes. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, next episode preview. It looks like we're going to cut back to what's going on at the hospital grounds, but at the same time, it looks like we're getting Hawks versus Dobby. And we know Dobby's for some. He even says in this episode, "Oh, please, man, you could do everything. I knew you would turn on us." And that's how conniving Dobby is. So interesting. We still want to know the truth about Dobby too. What the hell's going on with the fire quirk? It looks like Hawks versus Dobby is going to happen, and right now Hawks is not in a good shape right now. He's got burned feathers, and he can't really fight him because I don't think feathers will do anything to a man that can unleash flames. Especially blue flames are the hottest flames known to man.
So I've heard.
But hey, great episode of My Hero Academia. I continue to enjoy seeing the haters or the complainers from the last few seasons absolutely suck off season 6 of My Hero because it's back now. But hey, it was always here. Any other final thoughts?
My heart is still pounding, dude. My heart is still pounding.
Before we get out, actually, any predictions of who might be the next major character to die?
I can't say it in order, but I'm.
You brought that cherry almond to my car. Go ahead.
Anyways, one of my best guesses is Mr. Aizawa.
Oh, because they focused a lot of him in the preview, huh?
Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna say for sure that he's gonna die next, but I have a feeling he's gonna be one of the deaths.
So you think the next death could be on the hero side?
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. First death was on the villain side. Only makes it fair that the heroes lose somebody. I guess to even out Twice's death for now. So, well, technically, I guess you can say the heroes did have somebody die. The one guy, the fake Twice stab.
Yeah.
So, but hey, he wasn't important.
As cruel as that sounds, that's true.
He was just a side. No, he was just nobody. Let's be honest. He was a nobody.
Don't say that. Respect the dead man.
Yep. So yes. Like I said, if you want to get my legit first live reactions to some of the events in the war arc, go check out my manga chapter reviews. Now, some of those chapters are not all the chapters are there, because I kind of skipped over some chapters. But I know for the fact the 2 chapters that cover the Twice's death, is right there. Chapter 266. 267. Just go on my My Hero Academia manga chapter playlist, find it there and everything, but just don't look too far there, otherwise you'll get spoiled for future events. Because that's a whole nother story. But yeah. But anyways, guys, catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, peace.